Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. A very big shout out to Crystal Black. Thank you so much. Your videos are always hitting, and you are really doing amazingly great. So, I am going to say something about people trying to say that Black people are laughing at his Latinos that are being deported. I really do not see any Black person laughing at anybody, right? And whatever that is happening to them, I think it is what they did by themselves. Why am I saying this? I understood the fact that the people that are being deported are undocumented, right? But the same people that are undocumented have brothers and sisters or uncles or and their fathers that knew that they are undocumented and they still voted, right, for Trump. I am going to say this. Black people knew that there might be, or there are Haitians, maybe in African countries that are probably undocumented too, right? What did they do? They came all out to make sure they saved everybody. They did not come out. See, I don't know if people do understand that Black people are not losing in any way because they are not being deported. So they are actually coming out to save every other person from the oppression. And somebody is actually out there trying to throw shade. Man, you get this particular one wrong. You know what? Let's get into this.
I see all the fighting between black people and people of color on this app lately. And there's just so much visible divide. And it makes me look back and remember 2020 when everybody pretended to unify with black people. And I miss that. Back then, black people could do no wrong. Every non black person wanted a piece of the action. And we were happy to give it to them. I saw so many protests where black people were handing over the mic to non-black people and they'd give it back till eventually they just kept the mic. And everybody was happy except the black people that were getting killed. But our ferocious suburban black TikTok leaders graciously allowed everybody to speak over our cause. And it was a wonderful time. We even gave them a Sharpie and let them cross out black on Black Lives Matter. Let them put their race or ethnicity in its place. Word for word, bar for bar. In particular, I remember around last year and the year before, the topic of Hispanics saying the N-word came up. And a lot of black people were like, hey, we're not cool with that. That's not y'all slur. And Hispanic people graciously heard what we said and told us, shut up, nigga. Then we had, the coons come in and tell us that y'all don't understand the culture of Hispanics calling black people the N-word where they're from. When it all died down, everybody's fine. They continued to casually say nigga, and nobody said anything. There was a podcast where some Mexicans were mad that Kendrick Lamar only had one Mexican on stage during a Juneteenth performance, and they didn't know what Juneteenth was after we just celebrated Cinco de Mayo the month before. So they kept on, coming with a little heat, and then the election came, and it was a bunch of Latinos for Trump, and a good portion of them. They weren't all Mexicans, of course. And we kept it pushing like we always do. We said this is gonna backfire on you. Black people kept moving, forgetting about when, Hispanic people, Mexicans in particular, would call black people monkeys repeatedly on work site in their own neighborhoods. Forgot about the race wars in LA. From my understanding, in the prison system, Mexicans usually side with white supremacists. The black people on TikTok ignored it, kept on pushing. The Mexicans, the Hispanic, they're our brothers and sisters. Then the election happens and Trump gets into office and starts doing all the things he said he was going to do. Black people took this election as a form of betrayal because Trump is directly really going to harm black people. So the deportation started happening. Black people said, we're going to mind our business. And Mexican people like, wait a minute, niggas. But we stood with you, then took your movement. You've always spoken out against the anti-immigration stuff. You always have black community before, even now when everybody else is doing it. Y'all have always spoke out against it. Well, not this time. We've asked you repeatedly, y'all keep disrespecting us. And the Mexicans say, fine, niggers. That's why your people were in chains and you were slaves. And a lot of y'all tried to run to Mexico. It was about 3,000 to 10,000 of you. And we took you in. And we didn't send you back to America. We kept you niggers. Okay, and black people, we've heard of that before, right? We've always, wow, they did do that for us. Underground Railroad, right? But nobody talks about the treatment in Mexico after they ran away there. And that's because runaway black people in Mexico got put right back into a type of slavery very similar to chattel slavery. On the books, it said that black people had rights, but in reality, they was on plantations and shit. In reality, they would get whipped, and even though it was against the law, nobody enforced it. And that whole we stood up and fought so that they couldn't kidnap y'all thing was most likely because it was an economic advantage to damn near free labor from niggas. Seems like another source of reparations that black people are owed. In addition to that, they were ostracized, looked down upon, but eventually did intermingle, have Afro Mexicans. And those Afro-Mexicans apparently still experience discrimination from their Mexican halves. Nigga with the soft A and nigga with the ER is the same meaning. It's just the soft A with us because we speak AVE. But the meaning is the same. Even if it wasn't, it's still our slur. And y'all have a perfectly good slur in Spanish for black people, don't you? A couple of them. I'll respect you more if you call me a slur in your own language. Don't try to use the English version. The reaction of Mexican people being told no by black people for them immediately to start sounding like the white people they say that they hate. For them to sound exactly, in fact, worse. They sound worse than what white people say to us because they think they have a right to. Should have kept you in chains? Those are real comments that I have. I can show screenshots. It proves our point. You already had that queued up. I don't think about other races, to be honest, except about what they did to my people. So if I were to have a comeback to somebody of a different race, I wouldn't go to their oppression. I'll talk about how they oppressed my people, but I would never talk about their oppression. I wouldn't know to think of it. I didn't look down at them like that, right? But y'all threw an extreme trauma in our face. Slavery. They're coming after us next. They've been at us. Your problem is you're used to black people either being your attack dog or your shield. And since we won't be either, y'all showed that you've always thought the same way as white people do. And it's really fucked up because while y'all are mocking our slavery, they're setting up prison camps for y'all and trying to push lifetime imprisonment, which is stuff our black people already go through, still going through slavery. And while they're doing that, if y'all took time to go look, you see a whole bunch of black women teachers, black men teachers, saying that if ICE came in their school, they'll protect your child. I don't believe any other race of people is going to protect no child. But I do believe that black people will. Won't protect their own kids, but go out of our way to protect Mexican kids from ICE. I do believe that. They are willing to do that and make that sacrifice, and even if they got on here and talk shit, I do believe that they would still try to help your child. And y'all got on here and disrespected the only people that have ever been in your fucking corner. We don't owe you a goddamn thing. Y'all came here into black neighborhoods most of the time, and we took you in and took care of y'all. When black people take in the Mexican illegal immigrant that barely speaks English, black men be hanging out with them, chilling with them at work, whatever. When the white people do it, it's to mock. When black people do it, it's genuine and I'm mocking them. You go look on these videos and you'll see black people saying things like, yeah, Mexican buddy, they want to be friends, they'll bring you a beer. And that's actually happened to me. It was at my apartment a long time ago. He was trying to get on though, didn't speak a lick of English. I don't know where he thought that was gonna go. White people mock y'all. The ones that don't speak English look down at them. White people were raised to look at Mexicans as inferior, Hispanics as inferior. Black people were taught to watch out for Mexicans for our safety, not in the white people way. It was they're racist towards black people too. Be careful. Still let y'all in. Come into our culture. You still call us the N-word. Everybody else looks down on y'all. Some black people even say y'all was the new niggas. And it wasn't in a derogatory way. It was a way to connect with y'all, to let you into our community because everyone else rejected you. And this is what you do. And I don't want to hear, you can't generalize them just because it's a few. We don't do that to white people. I'm not doing it to nobody else. Because the fact is, racism towards black people is deeply rooted in the Latino community. That's why Brazilians hate themselves when the most niggas was dropped off over there. And the Dominicans, I know black, I Dominican. And y'all wasn't taking white people jobs. I'm just going to say it. Y'all couldn't have. The black wages dropped. And it consequently pushed more black men into prison because they started committing more crimes. Let's see who got this far. 10 out of 10.
Some of you are really going to hate this, and it's okay. If you run up, just know you're going to get done up too. Y'all going to be real mad, but y'all sound goofy as shit when y'all are saying stuff like, well, you get what you voted for. Like, you're cheering on people being deported. Guess what, you dickhead? Most of the people being deported couldn't vote. They're undocumented. Or they're people who just like do not have the citizenship status to vote. Why are y'all cheering on people who did not vote even, they didn't even vote against it? Why are y'all cheering on them suffering the consequences of people who can vote and who did vote? Does this make sense to y'all? And I'm not even trying to be funny, like, but y'all are so dead set on like this vindication that you're not realizing that you're again walking face first into your own demise. It is easier to get at people and to break people down when they're divided, and y'all are continuing the division by leaning into some bullshit from people. Do you want to know real people responsible? Fucking white people. Those are the people overwhelmingly responsible. Like, even the minority groups that we're talking about, who voted in favor of that man, they overwhelmingly voted in support of Kamala. Wrap it up. Y'all can keep the goofy shit. Like, I don't know. Girl, whatever. Because y'all don't listen for shit.
A lot of you saw the potential of a black woman getting elected, and you allowed your anti-blackness and misogyny to dictate how you voted in this election cycle. And reinforcing this idea of anti-blackness and misogyny was so important to you, even if it came at the expense of the people that you claim to care about. I had someone drop down in the comment section of one of my videos saying that I was being unfair to Arabs that were having their family members slaughtered by the Biden administration. No, I wasn't. I was listening to them. Those Arabs that are over there that said that Kamala Harris was the best choice, that she was the one that would give them a fighting chance. And a lot of people in this country that heard them say that and still said, we're going to vote against Kamala Harris. We are going to ensure that she loses. We are going to spite the Democrats because the Democrats need to lose this election. A lot of them literally saying that they were going to vote for Donald Trump. If they couldn't vote for Jill Stein, they were going to vote for Donald Trump. And now a lot of the people are seeing, a lot of the Latinos that decided to vote for Trump, that believed that Trump would deport their family members because they were good people. A lot of the Native Americans, 51% of you, I cannot believe that 51% of the indigenous population voted for Donald Trump, are now seeing that he's not going to just ignore you, he's coming for you too. And a lot of Arabs that heard Palestinians in Palestine on the ground in Gaza basically saying, imploring them to be smarter this election and not vote for Kamala Harris because you believe that she couldn't be criticized, because you should criticize her when she falls short of your expectations. But understand that there is a difference between a person that calls for a ceasefire, a person that recognizes that too many Palestinian civilians have lost their lives, And a person that has believed that Gaza should be controlled by the Israeli government because he has his son-in-law in his ear. The same son-in-law that has been looking at that area as prime real estate. So if you're dropping down in my comment section saying that I'm being unfair to Arabs that are having their family members unalive, no, I'm not. You are intentionally missing the fucking point. Of course you are. Because the point that I'm making is crystal clear. We have always told you guys that it could always be worse. Whatever you think is happening now, if Donald Trump gets back into the White House, it will be worse. And a lot of you ignored what Trump was saying because you just didn't want to believe that this black woman would get into the White House and do better for you, be better for you. A lot of you valued the opinions, the words of this white man that has actually caused harm to you because he was actually fucking president. She was never president, over this black woman that definitely would not be saying that the Israeli government needs to be in charge of Gaza so that she can build a hotel, one of her shitty hotels. I'm going to keep saying that so that you guys can really understand how frustrating it is going back and forth with you on this. These people that are on the ground over there implored that you guys be smarter and be better. And you weren't. You failed them. And now we have to watch as a lot of these people, not just in Gaza, but the West Bank and East Jerusalem, have their livelihood, their homes, their safety threatened because Trump has said, he has vowed that he will not do anything to prevent Israel from doing what they want to do, control the entirety of that region. Someone dropped down in the comment section of one of my last videos concerning these people that voted for or assisted Donald Trump's win and said the reason why they didn't vote for Kamala Harris is because Kamala Harris called the pro-Palestinian protesters terrorists. You're a fucking liar. You are a liar. And I hate fucking liars. What she actually said was campus protesters over Gaza war showing what human emotion should be. Doesn't sound like she called you guys terrorists. On top of that, there's actual video out there of her at a rally when she was being interrupted by Palestinians that were calling for a ceasefire, which she ultimately did, by the way. And she basically said, I respect your voices. Doesn't sound like she called pro-Palestinian protesters terrorists, does it? You see, what I've realized with a lot of people is instead of them looking at the facts, they would rather create narratives to justify why they were dumb, why they make stupid decisions, why they decided to do everything in their power to ensure that the one candidate that could win, that was actually calling for a ceasefire, that actually respected your movement, that actually said that there were too many Palestinian civilians that had lost their lives, why you did everything in your power to ensure that she lost, and not the man that's currently sitting in the White House that was actually president before, that actually set policy before, that actively harmed Palestinians because he was president, not vice president, because it's the president that sets policy, not the vice president. And you guys did everything in your power to ensure that she lost and not him. And even said to people this right here.
Don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
Vote for Jill or Donald Trump. But do not vote for Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by your community. And now you're seeing how stupid that was, because Donald Trump doesn't actually care about your community. He doesn't respect your voices. He doesn't even want to acknowledge that there are Palestinian civilians that have lost their lives. He's actually one that believes that you are all terrorists and has actively said this right here.
The country has never seen the likes of what you witnessed in America last weekend with the menacing mobs of Hamas supporters chanting their jihad slogans in the streets of our cities. In Washington, D.C., pro-jihadist demonstrators climbed up the fence in front of the White House. Excuse me, that I built it.
So you heard Trump say that. It wasn't Kamala Harris that said that. You heard Trump say that, not Kamala Harris. A lot of you come online and you make lazy, pathetic arguments, and it shows. And the fact that you're unwilling to educate yourselves with actual facts and what people actually said can lead to people being put into dire situations, even more dire than they already are. like this guy right here.
الرئيس الأمريكي مرفوضة تماما 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 تماما. وإذا هو بيفكر بده يهاجر الشعب الفلسطيني هجرة قسرية، هذا مستحيل 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 مستحيل، لأن الشعب الفلسطيني عنده موجود فكرة في راسه إنه هذه الأرض أرضه، هذه التراب ترابه. قد ما بده يحاول إسرائيل تدمر وتكسر وتبين للناس إنه هي انتصرت، هي ما انتصرتش فعليا.
And your unwillingness to understand that nuances exist and that there is a difference between the two candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, is why this guy, his family, a lot of your families, are at risk of displacement and even more ethnic cleansings. Not just in Gaza, but the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Because Donald Trump has said, unlike Kamala Harris, that the area needs to be built different, which means it needs to be in Israeli control. Yeah, you're a liar.
This is all I got from this video. And Crystal Black, a very big shout out to her. And I don't know this brother's name, but his handle is 5Hahem. I don't know how to pronounce it. But if I did not pronounce it well, I am sorry about that. You know, I did not mean to say that. Now, I am going to say this right? Because I have actually been wanting to talk to him, but I don't know him. I do not have any connection with him. The best I do, I am following him. I am following him on TikTok. The best I do is drop comments, right? See, I know you are a leftist, but let's get this correct. Let's get this particular one correct. I do not see anybody, or even if I see anybody laughing at the people that are being deported, right? Justified. Why? Because they messed themselves up. You are saying that they did not vote because they do not have the actual license to vote because they are undocumented, right? Which I absolutely agree. But what did their families do to help them? Now, let me tell you something. I remember that after the election, I brought videos of Hispanic, Latinos, who their own family voted for Trump, knowing fully well that they are undocumented. If you have been following me here, you are free to say if I am lying or I am saying the truth. They absolutely came out and said that their own family voted against their own interests, and that if anything happens to them, that they will make sure their family also go back with them. I brought this video here. Now, let me tell you something. Black people understood that there are Haitians and some other African migrants, or maybe not African, Caribbean, Jamaicans, and all that, right? What did they know? What did they do? They knew that even if it is not going to affect them, you and I know that anything deportation got nothing to do with Black people. They are not going to suffer anything, right? What did they do? They came out and made sure that they voted. Why? Because they need to save their own people and also save others. That is what I am telling you. See, I do not support evil, and I will be the last person to stand out here to support evil. If people are talking about the people that are being deported, it is because they do not have community. And the same people that will tell you that they have community and they are always in unison or in unity with their own people, right? Because I remember there was a video that how many years ago, probably 2 years ago, a man that said, he came out to say he is Hispanic. Why is it that Black people will not show themselves way? But if it is Hispanic, they will show themselves way and make sure everybody is moving forward. Now, let me tell you something. The same video that I am standing here to tell you that if I see that video, I definitely will attach this video. So you see what I am saying. I am not saying if they used to be or they have community or they are in unity and the rest of it. But there is a particular time when you need to show how in unity you are with your community. And when you fail to do it, I feel like all you people are doing is yapping or capping. Why? Because there is nothing like unity. The same, now let me tell us this. You all remember before the election, and I remember that I made a video thanking black men because we thought black men were not going to come out. We thought black men were not going to come out. You and I know the truth, right? And everybody was on, like, on TikTok all over talking about how if anything happens on this election, that there would never be anything bringing anybody together and the rest of it. To the shock of everybody, on election day, the results started coming out. Black men showed all out. True or false? That shows community, right? So if you are standing here saying you are a D-head and all that, I should be telling you, Sahib, I don't know your name, but I should be telling you that you were busy reposting Palestinians and people that are anti-black doing the Palestinian this thing. I saw you retweeting and reposting all their videos, right? So if there is anybody to direct this message to, I should tell you to go and tell the people that actually came out to tell people, because I saw you people defending, what's her name? Maya Ione. You people were defending Maya, right? There is nothing wrong with what she said, and she wasn't being anti-black. Some of you people are liars. Some leftists are liars. And I know what I am saying. I'm saying it with my full chest, right? So if anything happens, go and meet them. The ones that you all knew that said they were not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Why? Because they do not align with her policy or do not align their spirit. I hope your spirits now are aligning with Trump. Yes, that spirit should continue to align with Trump because you all are silly. See. I don't know why, but there are some things I do not want to hear at this point in time. For whoever that support, I know I still remember that this young man voted for Kamala Harris, but coming out to defend what I don't understand. And there are some of your videos that I see that are controversial, which I feel like, okay, it is you creating your own content. But you see this particular one, anybody laughing at them, that it's what they deserve it. Why am I saying that? Because this man did not hide his intentions. I will keep saying it to tomorrow. One thing I keep saying that I like about Trump is that Trump never hid his intentions. It's where people that refuse, people decided to be ignorant and choose to believe him. That is your problem. Because he said he loved the uneducated, and you all showed how uneducated you all are. Sometimes I see you all trying to throw shades at black people and all that. But then it is your own problem because in the end, you are also a black person. So enough of all these people coming out to laugh at them and the rest of it. Why would they not come out? So let everybody face their own problem, because at this point in time, I am not telling you that black people, that they do not have problem. Black people have a lot of problem that they are facing. You all can see all the DEI and the rest of it, that they are removing all the most stores and all that are doing it. And black people are still trying to figure out themselves and lives and the rest of it. So for anybody that want to coon, just move somewhere far and keep cooning, right? See, I don't know how to say it, but I am trying as much as I can to control myself, because, it's a platform and there are some things I am not also supposed to say, but you all should go take several seats behind and stop throwing shade, or stop, because I know whom you are trying to talk to, like people are throwing shades and all that. Nah. And I saw people in the comment, those that even went to McDonald's and went to other people to do this thing. You people do not understand. Now, I see some of you now. See. Let me tell you, I see some of them. The LGBTQs. Now they are running around, especially the ones that even voted for Trump. How could you be LGBTQ and you are voting for Trump? That shows how dumb you are. I am sorry, LGBTQ got nothing to do with black people, right? But this is me chipping this in. How can you be two ways, and you are. I didn't have any problem with, but I am saying, how can you not know where you stand and you are voting for Trump? And some of you are now running around to go and change your was it the Z gender and all that. And you all are running around to change genders. See, I keep saying this is a very teachable moment for everybody. Not until we all are ready to learn. But if we are not ready to learn, this mistake will still repeat itself. And some people, maybe something worse than deportation will happen. Bye for now.